I've been getting my teacher brain re-engaged for the upcoming Life Reset program. And I know there's so many marketing people out there that are like, don't give it away. Don't share what you're going to be teaching. Keep the gold for your program. People need to pay. And of course, there's always going to be more depth, more resource, more value, more power, more integration in the actual program. A little video can never replace true support and transformation. So if this helps, and I want it to help change your life and your experience and the way you're thinking about yourself and your world and your possibilities and potential. But if it helps, know and trust that there is more to be gained and gleaned with actual support in the program. By the way, the Life Reset program is for people who are ready and willing to change their life. And whether that's simply because it hasn't been feeling good and you know you need a change and a shake-up, or there is something you're actively working on, a career change, a weight loss transformation, finding love, or re-engaging with your relationship, the Life Reset is a perfect place and space for you to become the person you desire to be and reset and change the life around you to match. Today we are talking about Maslow's hierarchy of needs in a new way. I want to frame the basis and the concept as an invitation for deeper understanding of yourself, your situation, and the stresses that are keeping you from transformation. The thing we're already going to do is flip this on its head. Okay, so just to read these out so they actually make a little bit more sense, because I doubt you can read it properly from here. We have our physiological needs, our safety and security, love and belonging, self-esteem, and self-actualization. When it's flipped up the correct way, this is a very traditional and basic understanding of how we need to build the supports and the needs in our life so we feel safe and secure and able to flourish and reach self-actualization. The reason self-actualization is right on the top, even though that's where most of us are striving for, we want to feel fulfilled and on purpose and in our passion. And that's often what I talk about in my content and in my coaching, is how do we be all that we can be? And this part right down the bottom, or at the top of the pyramid if we're working upwards, is speak to, because that's where our soul and our yearning is calling us. And the pyramid, starting at those physiological needs, our breathing, our food, our water, our shelter, the basic requirements of life and living and staying alive. The reason we work up that way is because it's very hard to live up to our full potential and be on path and on purpose if we're worrying day to day, how am I surviving? It is very difficult to thrive if we are in survival mode. And so if you're in any type of holistic coaching course, or even that's the way you live your life, you're probably working from top to bottom. Your needs taken care of, then embracing safety and security. So that's job, employment, income. And then we go up to love and belonging, how are your relationships doing, so on and so forth. And the reason why we need to work in this way overall, in general, is because the more we can feel safe in our life and safe in our job and safe in our sense of security, then we can start to feel safe to explore and expand and go beyond just what feels safe. Being in self-actualization is being outside of our comfort zone. It's around exploration of the unknown of who we are and what we can be, what life can be outside our little bubble of safety and security. So it takes a lot of build-up. Now, with all of that kind of prefaced, I want to explain why I flipped it on its head. Because the activity we're going to do today is around assessing what needs work. Because even though this, in the traditional sense, is a beautiful model of assessing and reassessing, what do I need in order to move on to the next stage and get out of my comfort zone and grow and evolve and become all that I can be, it's not necessarily linear. And what I mean by that is you might be finding in your life at the moment, especially for those of you exploring entrepreneurship, working for yourself, or alternative lifestyles, you're breaking free from the mold, you might find you're actually in self-actualization a lot because you're following that passion. You have working on your self-esteem to get to this point, and you feel very secure, or at least you're very aware of your own identity, who you're becoming, the great possibility within you. You have great relationships and people around you supporting you on this journey, or it's really developed and grown. But what I often find in my clients, we're operating in this space, but here is where we tend to get stuck. This is why we have a lot of lack mindset. Even though we have great dreams and belief and passion and purpose and ambition, we're lacking physiological and even nervous system safety. So we're constantly sabotaging and going against ourselves. And it kind of doesn't make sense why we believe this, but we're stuck on this. So I flipped it upside down so we can do a little bit of an activity around how do you assess where the stresses are in your life. Not because you need to work through them A to Z, but because it's going to help you identify what is actually my sticking point. Where am I really stuck? Because you can still get here with some of these factors in place, but if we don't know them, we can't grow through them, or we can't allow them to go. So very, very simple. Starting with your psychological needs. Again, this is like food, water. Do you have somewhere to sleep at night? Do you feel safe in the space that you're in? This activity, I'm going to just do it with this first one, but I invite you to apply it to all of these layers and areas yourself. Take as much time as you need, but really allow yourself to go with what immediately comes up and through. These things are on your mind, even if you're not consciously working on them all the time. Trust yourself. And of course, if journaling helps, use a journal. If speaking it aloud helps, use your audio note-taking system. If you want to do it with a friend who you feel safe to share, do that as well, whatever you need. All right, so it's very, very simple how we're going to do this. You're going to think of just 3 simple sentence starters. We've got how I feel, how I think, and how I react. These are designed to prompt you into examining each area. So in our physiological needs, thinking about your home, your safety, your day-to-day survival. How I feel in this area. You might sense, I feel very uncomfortable in where I'm staying. Like I never can release and just relax. How I think. I'm constantly thinking about where I would rather be and what I would rather be doing. And this is really stressing me out. How I react. I get home and I lose all energy and enthusiasm. I slam cupboards. I think about how can I get out of the house all of the time. There is no safety here. And I'm just reacting out of anger and frustration. So if you go through all of these, you're going to notice in each area what is the constant stressor and anxiety. And these might be things that once you notice them, you can work on them. You might notice that once you sort of see these patterns of behavior and reaction, that there is very tangible things that you can do, or there might be intangible internal things where you can soothe, you can release, you can relax. Now, once you've gone through all of these, and you will probably notice there are some stresses or triggers in each area, you can determine what are my priorities and how am I going to navigate this information. Now, navigating the information might simply mean putting a plan in place, or it might mean reaching out and working with someone on, okay, I can see what is impacting me. Where do I go next? This is what I often work on with my clients. And of course, in the Life Reset program, this is just one of the many activities and ways of working that we're going to do together. Now, this is just a snapshot. This is just an indicator, an invitation for inquiry. What we do with this next is integration, it's alignment, it's an embodiment, and it's the improvement of your circumstances inside and out. Go through this activity, do it to the depth that you feel comfortable, and then a little bit further, and let me know how it goes. Of course, if you want help, if you want this and so much more, come and join us in the Life Reset program. We start October 28th officially, but when you sign up, we start working together. If this is the first thing you want to talk about, we'll talk about it, or we can go in the direction that you need straight away. I don't believe in holding anything back, so make sure if this is calling you, reach out. It is time for a life reset.